Hello, greetings, Dr. J and my classmates. My name is Deidre Taylor, and I'm going to give you about maybe 5 to 6 minutes of a brief overview of my PowerPoint presentation, our interpersonal communications project for our Human Services class 508. I'm not a public speaker, so this is all new to me, so just bear with me. But we start the presentation out with just a brief introduction of myself and who I am. And I'm a single mother with 2 children, originally from Minneapolis, Minnesota, where of course you can see that we have a lot of snow in addition to a lot of lakes. We usually get anywhere from maybe 6 to 10 feet of snow a year, and that's the minimum. I did receive my undergrad at the University of Washington in Seattle, an accomplishment I'm very proud of. And I also am by trade a counselor. I've been doing this job for about 13 years, and I really enjoy the job. I learn a lot about other cultures, about family dynamics, and so I've decided to finish up at Liberty with my master's in Human Services, Marriage and Family Therapy. Okay, to begin our brief overview of my PowerPoint presentation, I remember one of the first questions that needed to be addressed was the overarching goal, and what I thought the overarching goal was for me. And I divided mine into 3 sections: faith, self-awareness, and listening levels. Faith would be basically my relationship to Christ and how I have revolved my life around Christ, and how I choose to live my life based on my belief that He is going to be ever so graceful and mercy to me. I don't like to keep my life complicated. My way of handling everything when adversities come is just to believe that God is the one that's in control. Again, getting back to my profession, really didn't know what I wanted to do in the beginning. But as I've grown, matured professionally and personally, I've learned that whatever gifts I have, I need to use them for the betterment of other people. Let's talk about self-awareness. Self-awareness is important to me because you need to know who you are as a person. You need to understand what your gifts are so that you can utilize them according to whatever it is you have to share. Okay, and it says here, one of the gifts, we're talking about listening, is that we do learn by listening to others, according to the text, one of the texts we had in the class, Burley Ann's text, that, excuse me, listening to others also teaches us about our own listening skills and how we communicate with others. Okay, we talked about the 3 levels. Of course, I decided I was level 1 because I am an empathetic listener, and that's required for my job. And getting into the behavioral blend and the Carbonell's disc model, we kind of also played with that a little bit just to find out where we are with our own personalities and how our behavioral blends motivate us to interact and communicate with others. And my assessment was basically I was a D with an I, which means that I'm very task-oriented, and I'm a people person, which is really what's part of my personality and how I work so well with people. Inhaling versus exhaling communication. Some processes of inhaling versus exhaling in communication includes the following: organization, selection, and inference. I want to just take a few seconds to talk about inference making and how important it is for us to rely on our Christian values when we're communicating with people and not trying to prejudge and make assumptions or make an assessment without hearing or knowing what all of the facts are first. Okay? And then also when we're talking to someone, we need to understand that our abilities and their abilities should be equal. That although in my personal opinion, my assessment or my opinion or whatever point I'm trying to get across might be more valuable because it's coming from me, that we're all in the same place, we're all in the same plane, and we need to listen with patience, we need to nurture relationships, and we need to make sure that when we're listening, we're making the listening work for me. Am I really understanding what this person is saying? We're getting close to the end now, and I just want to say we talked a little bit about the EMC equation and what that specifically means according to the text, but I broke it down into something a little bit different because I used my own formula that I wanted to present in this PowerPoint presentation. That the basic learning techniques for me is the equation of a pure heart plus desire to serve equals a fulfilling relationship. And I have some diagrams here, pictures here to just emphasize that it begins with us. When we're interacting with others, we should already have an intent. We should already have the attitude of serving, so that there should be an accomplishment, an intended goal that always is for the betterment of everyone involved and not just myself whenever we're communicating. Enlarging conversations. How do I enlarge my conversation? I didn't know what that meant at first. I didn't know if enlarging the conversation, as I explained here, meant do I need to talk more? Do I need to use more intellectual phrases and conversations? But that's not what that means. Enlarging the conversation, like I was stating before, basically means, and to me, how am I going to use the gifts that God has given me to interact with others and bring out the very best in both of us? That person that I'm talking to, as well as the person that is talking to me and myself. There should be, again, a very sincere intent, and the role that's involved should be two people talking simultaneously together with no animosity or self-pleasing attitude. Both people should have the same roles. And my role, specifically speaking, would be to edify the other person, empower the other person, and so that they can, feel comfortable with communicating with me. Lastly, I would like to say that resiliency is a very big, important part of this process. One of the questions that was asked was, what barriers do you have in your interpersonal communication skills, and how do you plan to knock those barriers down and better yourself in the long run? And my answer to that would be that you cannot grow, you cannot blossom if you don't have Christ as a foundation in your life. And so using that, and with that being said, Christ is the foundation, and He is the one that gives the tools that allows us to be able to, embrace around other people, embrace the ideas that they have collectively with ours, and to make them feel that they're important, because Jesus did say that we're all one body, and that we're to love each other and treat each other at the way that He has treated us. That basically is my PowerPoint presentation. Again, I'm not an oral speaker, but I did enjoy putting this presentation together. I thoroughly enjoyed the class, and I've learned so much about myself and about what special qualities I have as a person and how I can enlarge my conversation, complementing from my blend of experiences and with my childhood and my work relationships, my children. I've been very blessed, and I would just like to thank you, Dr. J, for encouraging me to be a better person utilize my scriptures accordingly, and also to accentuate my writing skills and work on that, because that's very important when you're in a graduate level class. So thank you so much. May God bless you and keep you, and good luck with your future classes that you may facilitate. Thank you so much.